Our story's heart beats within Tai Chi, an ordinary high schooler. One day, as he walks with his classmate Rin, a mysterious voice echoes inside his mind. Before he can grasp the moment, a radiant summoning circle bursts to life beneath their feet. Seeing the light envelop them both, Tai Chi instinctively pushes Rin away, fearing for her safety, but Rin refuses to abandon him, turning back to stay by his side. Moments later, Tai Chi awakens to find himself lying on an endless green meadow. His first move? Rushing to wake Rin, relieved when she's unharmed. Yet, uncertainty clouds her eyes. No signal on their phones, no clue where they stand. Tai Chi suggests they've crossed into another world, a parallel realm summoned by that glowing ring. Rin hesitates, unwilling to believe it, but fate has other plans. Suddenly, a monstrous creature blocks their path. Danger sharpens Tai Chi's instinct. She urges Rin to run, but the beast is swift. The chase is merciless, and soon the creature catches up. Cornered, Tai Chi makes a haunting decision. He'll stay behind as bait. One must fall so the other can live, he whispers. More than sacrifice, it's a chance to prove himself, to fight one last time for the girl he cherishes. Grabbing a stone, Tai Chi hurls it at the beast. No effect. Desperation fuels his roar, pulling the monster's gaze toward him. As the beast lunges to finish him, a sudden wind/cleaves the air. A bald warrior bursts in, cutting the monster down with relentless strikes. Then, an arrow flies through the sky, striking the creature dead. Tai Chi's eyes widen. It's a band of adventurers, hunters in this strange land. They reveal the truth. This black horse-like monster is the deadliest in the region, and a hefty bounty awaits its defeat. Watching them wield magic to roast the beast alive, Tai Chi's understanding deepened. She and Rin were summoned to a world where magic and monsters roam. Though uncertain of their fate, determination ignites within them. They will survive no matter the cost. That night, curiosity brews as the adventurers learn about Tai Chi and Rin's origins. Discovering they're outsiders, the group promises to escort them on their journey ahead. Meanwhile, Tai Chi senses Rin's unease, fearing he's caused her pain. Pulling her aside, he listens as tears flow. Rin begs him to stop risking his life for her, unwilling to face this lonely world alone. Moved, Tai Chi vows to protect her, and their bond mends. Dawn breaks, with the adventurers leading Tai Chi and Rin to Aspire, a quaint town bustling with promise. New comrades thank the rescuers, and when Tai Chi and Rin express their dream to form their own team, they receive a parting gift, a modest sum, to start their journey. Following guidance, the pair heads to the Adventurers Guild, ready to carve their path in this magical world. At the guild, newcomers Tai Chi and Rin face their first test, a contract and a magical orb to measure their mana compatibility. Rin's touch surges through the orb, revealing an immense magical power. When Tai Chi places his hand, the orb cracks and shatters an omen that will ripple through their destinies. The receptionist rushes to inform the guildmaster. Both are no ordinary adventurers. This world has just begun to unveil its secrets. The journey ahead is cloaked in mystery and challenge, but with courage forged in the fires of sacrifice and newfound friendship, Tai Chi and Rin step forward, two souls summoned across worlds, ready to embrace their fate. If you've ever faced an impossible new beginning, remember, even in the darkest unknown, the flicker of hope burns brightest when shared. Thanks for joining this adventure. Let's see where their story leads us next. Unaware of the chaos he had stirred, all eyes in the guild hall turned toward them. Soon, the guildmaster arrived, accompanied by a woman known as the Golden Swordsman. He introduced himself as Zerez and the blonde-haired woman as Miura, requesting Miura to escort the two to a different place where they could receive the guidance they desperately needed, a wooden house, nestled in a nearby forest. There, they met a stunning woman named Lenya, whose figure was shrouded in mystery. After some conversation, Lenya revealed that the orb in the guild hall had been damaged, so the guildmaster asked her to assess the magical power of the two. She then pulled out two wooden pieces she had crafted herself, explaining they could measure their magic levels. Upon examination, she found their readings fascinating. Lenya immediately took Tai Chi and Jin as her disciples, eager to personally train them. Both Tai Chi and Jin were puzzled by the significance of the numbers. Miura explained that their magical power and strength greatly surpassed both hers and Lenya's. However, since they did not yet know how to harness it, Lenya took them under her wing with the goal of teaching them to master their abilities. If they succeeded, they could potentially become the strongest mages, capable of single-handedly taking down entire nations. In that moment, Tai Chi envisioned himself as a king, surrounded by beautiful maidens, but Jin quickly dispelled those dark thoughts from his mind, urging him not to entertain such ideas. The following morning, while everyone was having breakfast, Lenya began to explain the basics of magic. Magic comprised four main elemental attributes: fire, water, wind, and earth. Each person could possess one or several attributes. For instance, Miura had two primary attributes, fire and earth, while their master, Lenya, known as the Triad Mage, wielded fire, water, and wind. Jin was destined to become a powerful archmage, drawing strength directly from the spirits witut needing the elements. Thus, he could effortlessly obliterate an entire nation or vast territory. Hearing this, Jin was concerned that Tai Chi might misuse his power to attract other girls, but Tai Chi reassured him that he had no desire for power. This left their master feeling somewhat bored after her explanation. Lenia then began their training, and despite possessing overwhelming strength, Tai Chi struggled to grasp the concepts being taught, while Jin's intelligence allowed him to easily execute the fire spells Miura had demonstrated. In fact, Jin was able to conjure a blue flame from gas, leaving Miura utterly amazed. Witnessing Jin's talent, Miura showered him with compliments, but Jin humbly credited her strictness for his rapid progress. After a long day of training, Jin approached Tai Chi to check on his progress. When he learned that Tai Chi was still struggling to cast spells, he encouraged him to try again. Just then, the mysterious voice from before echoed once more, guiding Tai Chi step by step until he finally succeeded. Turning to Jin, he asked if she had heard anything, but she replied that she had heard nothing, and jokingly suggested that Tai Chi must have encountered a ghost. That evening, everyone gathered for dinner, reflecting on the results of their first day of training. When they learned Jin had made rapid progress, Lenia was thrilled. But regarding Tai Chi, she insisted he needed to train even harder starting tomorrow, promising to be more stringent to help him develop his combat style. Tai Chi listened, feeling anxious, which made the girls chuckle. Later, when both boys had fallen sound asleep, Miura approached Lenia, expressing her thoughts about the two boys. With their immense powers, Lenia acknowledged the danger of exposing their existence to the world. She vowed to train them diligently to ensure they could control their powers and protect themselves. In a brief period, both boys showed remarkable improvement. Tai Chi could now wield a sword and swiftly defeat a swamp wolf, while Jin, harnessing the 4 elemental spells, quickly took down the forest rabbits, finishing them off with a thundersword technique. Witnessing her student's significant growth filled Lenia with pride, and Miura remarked that Jin had outperformed her, allowing her to learn a lot from him, which surprised their master. At that moment, they spotted a black horse appear before the two boys, yet they had become strong enough that it was no longer a formidable foe. That night, they celebrated Jin and Tai Chi's graduation. Although Tai Chi wished to stay, Lenia insisted it was time for him to embark on his journey as an adventurer. At that moment, she confessed that she knew they were summoned to this world, explaining their incredible strength. The one who summoned them could be a mage capable of controlling space and time. Hearing this made Tai Chi thrilled, for if he could find that person, he and Jin could return home. However, Jin and Sakura appeared less enthusiastic. After the celebration, Jin sought out Tai Chi's room. Although she had much on her mind, she struggled to voice it. Seeing this, Tai Chi expressed his gratitude, thanking Jin for joining him in this world. He shared his upcoming plans to become an adventurer to earn money, which would help him locate the summoner so they could return home together. Although Jin hesitated, she ultimately agreed to Tai Chi's plan. Both carried immense power within. Lenia warned that if the world discovered their existence, it would spell grave danger. Determined, she vowed to train them thoroughly so they could control their strength and protect themselves. In a short time, their progress was remarkable. Tai Chi skillfully wielded a sword, effortlessly slaying a swamp wolf in an instant, while Xin, mastering the 4-element magic, swiftly took down nearly an entire group of wild rabbits, finishing them off with a thunder god's strike. Watching her disciples' growth, the master was deeply pleased. Miura even remarked that Xin outshone her own skills, having learned a great deal from the master. Just then, a black horse appeared before the two students. Yet, now much stronger, it was no match for them. That night, a celebration was held to honor Jin and Tai Chi's graduation. Though Tai Chi wished to stay, the master told him it was time to embark on his journey as an adventurer. The master confessed she knew the two were summoned beings, explaining their overwhelming power. The one who summoned them might be a warlock capable of manipulating space and time. Hearing this, Tai Chi was thrilled if they found the summoner. He and Xin could return home. But Xin and Sakura seemed uneasy. After the party, they privately visited Tai Chi's room, filled with unspoken feelings. Though burdened with many thoughts, Xin hesitated to speak. Seeing this, Tai Chi thanked Xin for coming to this world with him, and shared his plan to become an adventurer, earn money, and find their summoner to go home together. Though reluctant inside, Xin agreed. Before sleeping, Tai Chi heard that mysterious voice again. When he asked, she only said they would soon meet, and from then on, her voice often echoed in his dreams. Sometime later, Tai Chi returned to the town of Azabai with the master. After registering as adventurers, they reunited with their benefactors. Now, the two eagerly took on low-rank E-missions. To prepare, Xin studied the world's lore extensively. At that moment, the landlord Amidan informed Tai Chi that the guildmaster had sent a summons. Upon reading it, Tai Chi and the master hurried to the guild. Their next mission was to investigate a tavern in the slums rumoured for smuggling. Tai Chi was puzzled why such a task ranked as D level. The guildmaster explained that as disciples of Lenya, this mission was simple for them. Reluctantly accepting, they chose to investigate at night. Entering a fruit shop, they noticed prices were sky high. The seller revealed that goods were scarce because monster attacks had been hitting delivery carts, explaining the inflated costs. After buying some fruit, the two suspected the rumors might be true that stolen goods were diverted to the slums for sale. That night, they went straight to the tavern. Seeing two children at the door, the locals sneered, underestimating them. Tai Chi ordered 2 drinks while scanning the room. He confronted the owner, accusing the tavern of harboring stolen goods. The owner feigned ignorance, but thugs soon surrounded them. Still, these foes were no match. Under pressure, the thugs confessed. The stolen goods were being funneled through this tavern. Their investigation had just begun, but the shadows lurking in the slums were already revealing their sinister depth. Rumors swirled through the town cargo trucks under siege by monsters, leading to a scarcity of goods and sky-high prices. After purchasing a few fruits, both Tai Chi and Xin begin to suspect that these rumors might hold truth, and the stolen goods could be funneled into the slum district. That very night, they head straight to a tavern in the slum to investigate. However, upon seeing their youthful faces, the patrons regard them with disdain. Tai Chi wastes no time, ordering 2 cups of water while scanning the tavern with keen eyes. He then boldly asks the tavern owner if they are harboring a stash of stolen goods. The owner feigns ignorance, and the surrounding thugs close in on them. But these brutes are no match for Tai Chi and Xin, who force them to confess they were merely hired to transport the stolen cargo, with no knowledge of the mastermind behind it. The tavern owner confirms their tale, leaving Tai Chi and Xin disheartened and empty-handed. Just as they turn to leave, they sense a group trailing them from the tavern. Without hesitation, they dash ahead, only to encounter 3 female assassins blocking their path. Realizing he can't fight them, Tai Chi devises a plan to capture the trio and extract information. He channels his magic into his hands, swiftly taking down one of the assassins while Xin sends another flying with a powerful spell. As Tai Chi prepares to deal with the last one, the first assassin detonates a grenade, allowing the group to escape. In that moment, Tai Chi realizes they are dealing with a professional team of assassins, willing to sacrifice their own for survival. Although they manage to capture one, they escort her back to their guild. Once she regains consciousness, their mentor warns her that when an assassin fails, their allies will seek to eliminate them to protect their secrets. Grateful for their aid, she expresses her thanks to Tai Chi and Xin for saving her life. The following morning, just as Tai Chi and Xin receive their reward for completing the mission, they are approached by Miura, who informs them that their next assignment will be particularly complicated. She suggests forming a team to investigate together. Upon hearing that the price of Melila fruit has suddenly surged at the market, Miura speculates that the Melila forest to the north is likely being raided, causing the shortage. Thus, the group sets off for the northern woods of the kingdom. This being their first time teaming up with others, Miura is filled with excitement. That afternoon, upon arrival, they are greeted by the members of a Melila farming community. However, as Tai Chi shakes hands with a suspicious fellow named Kasim, an uneasy feeling washes over him. After the farm owner leads them on a tour, Jin's magical staff suddenly glows. Miura senses something approaching and urges everyone to run ahead. From the thicket, a few monsters emerge, charging directly at them. Without hesitation, Miura draws her sword and swiftly dispatches the small creatures. Tai Chi enhances his magic and takes down the leader with a single punch. That night, as the 3 gather to discuss the day's events, Tai Chi voices his suspicions about Kasim, believing he may be the orchestrator behind the recent troubles. Miura agrees and proposes they set a trap to expose the culprits. The next morning, while surveying the area, the team discovers strange footprints and a cold, extinguished campfire. Thanks to Jin's magical staff, they deduce that 3 individuals are lurking nearby. When they track them down, they catch the trio red-handed, stealing from the farm. But just then, Tai Chi notices that the protective mage is conspicuously absent, raising alarms in his mind. With every twist and turn, the stakes grow higher, and the bonds between Tai Chi, Xin, and Miura deepen as they navigate through deception and danger. Each encounter reveals not just the threat of their enemies, but also the strength of their friendship, a force that could either uplift them or lead to their downfall. As they prepare to confront the thieves, Tai Chi wonders about the lengths they will go to protect their secrets. He reflects on their journey, realizing that sometimes the greatest battles are fought not just against foes, but within oneself. In a world filled with shadows, the light of trust and camaraderie shines brighter than any weapon. And as they take their next steps, Tai Chi knows that together they can face whatever awaits them in the darkness. So, if you've ever been caught in a web of doubt and uncertainty, remember this tale of friendship and courage. Just like Tai Chi, Xin, and Miura, may you find the strength to face your own challenges and the wisdom to trust those who walk beside you. These foes thought they could fight back, but before my power, they were left with no choice but to surrender. Soon after, they were led away by the camp leader, to face their punishment. Meanwhile, Tai Chi was struck by a realization his opponent bore no scars, while the farmers here were worn and battered. She had conjured a wall of wind to protect herself, but her foe easily sliced through it. On the other side, Tai Chi and his ally began summoning their ice beast to defeat the opponent. Feeling belittled, Tai Chi activated his strength and delivered a punch to the ice beast, only to find it utterly ineffective. His ally explained that the ice beast lacked a physical body, rendering his attack futile. However, the ice beast could still inflict damage on other targets. Tai Chi, skeptical, attempted to attack with his sword, but the result remained unchanged. The ice beast launched a relentless barrage against Tai Chi, pushing him to his limits. After testing Tai Chi's power, it was time for his ally to finish him off. He fed the ice beast something, turning it crimson and immensely powerful. The ice beast charged at Tai Chi, sending him flying. When he finally sat up, he noticed the severity of his injuries. His ally proclaimed that he didn't wish to kill Tai Chi, but rather wanted him to serve his power. If Tai Chi refused, the two girls would be taken hostage, leaving them at the mercy of others. Though separated, the girls were determined to fight back, this time utilizing a new strategy. Miura enhanced her abilities and attacked relentlessly with her sword, while Zin unleashed her Thunderblade, forcing their opponent to evade and creating an opening for Miura to land a kick that sent her sprawling. Seizing this opportunity, Zin lunged forward, stabbing the Thunderblade into their foe's abdomen, causing her to convulse with electricity. Yet, she still stood, a smug satisfaction on her face, prompting the two girls to end their assault. With that, Zin unleashed both wind and fire magic to restrain her, while Miura wielded her fiery sword to deliver a decisive blow, knocking their foe to the ground. Though Grammy had fallen, Tai Chi was in a similarly dire state. His ally warned that if the two girls refused to submit and comply, he would end Tai Chi right then and there. In Tai Chi's moment of utter despair, a familiar voice resonated in his mind. The girl introduced herself as the wind spirit Ariel, promising to grant him strength, but at a steep cost pain. Tai Chi vowed to protect the two girls at any cost, accepting the price. Once he acquired the spirit's power, his enemies were left astounded. Even the ice beast's attacks were rendered ineffective against him. Tai Chi accepted his fate, and after bonding with the spirit, his newfound power stunned the attackers. Even the ice beast's strikes no longer harmed him. Fueled by rage, Tai Chi swore to annihilate the two villains on the spot. With a single gust of wind magic, he blasted away both the beast and its assault, sending the enemies fleeing in terror. Though his body reached its limit, Tai Chi unleashed one final blow on the sim before collapsing. Though the sim survived, losing an arm, Tai Chi lay unconscious, tended to by Zin's healing magic. When he awoke, he found himself in the familiar room. After finishing the food Lenya prepared, the master revealed he had been unconscious for a week, drained of all his mana. Zin and Miura had brought him back here. Tai Chi thanked the master and the two women. She explained that the sim had used a blood pact with the beast, which made it so powerful. Tai Chi admitted he was helpless against the ice beast, but was saved by Ariel, the wind spirit, who granted him strength to survive. The master was amazed, telling him spirits were a noble race, and few could communicate with them. She was certain Tai Chi was a summoner capable of forming contracts with spirits. Tai Chi himself admitted he was powerless against the ice beast back then, but fortune smiled upon him through Ariel, the wind spirit, who bestowed upon him a surge of strengthener to survive and return. His master listened with wide eyes, astonished by this revelation. She revealed that spirits are a noble race, not everyone can commune with them, and she was certain Tai Chi was a summoner, capable of forging a sacred pact. From that moment, the spirit would wield their full magical power on his behalf. Tai Chi felt like he had just hit the VIP jackpot. Meanwhile, the Sims, after reporting everything to their mastermind, learned of Tai Chi's newfound strength, only to be assigned a fresh mission. They cast a binding spell on Grammy to force her back into servitude under their control. Back with Tai Chi, he wandered the streets searching for Zin and Miura. Just then, he spotted a girl flanked by two scoundrels who were harassing her. The moment she saw Tai Chi, she clung to his arm, whispering words of affection. Tai Chi barely caught on before one thug lunged at him to be swiftly kicked to the ground. After the others fled, the girl introduced herself. Her name was Anas, the very assassin Tai Chi had defeated earlier. Grateful for his rescue, she pledged allegiance to his guild and joined him in investigating the theft of food and supplies. Inside, they quickly subdued the guards, but a note on the table sent a chill down Tai Chi's spine. Meanwhile, Zin and Miura were investigating elsewhere when an attacker struck from behind. Both dodged just in time. Miura told the others to flee while she and Zin stayed to fight. After exchanging blows, they discovered the enemy had reinforcements. Suddenly, Grammy appeared, knocking Miura unconscious before kidnapping her. She ordered her underlings to hold Zin back, escalating the danger. Tai Chi and Anna descended into the basement of the house they'd just left. The note revealed a terrifying secretor horde of monsters enhanced by a blood pact awaited below. After a tense walk, they faced a locked door. With her assassin's finesse, Anna swiftly opened it. Tai Chi feared for her safety, worried she might risk everything for him. But Anna smiled, thanked him, and asked to be called by her real name. Meanwhile, Zin had defeated Grammy's minions and confronted the merciless woman. Feeling ashamed of her cruel deeds, Grammy refused to fight further but warned Zin to rescue Miura quickly. Grammy's master was about to invoke a blood contract over her. Zin's mind raced back to the terrifying ice beast that had haunted her before. Without hesitation, she rushed to the spot Grammy indicated just as a sinister ritual was about to begin. Seeing Miura in peril, Zin's fury ignited. She unleashed an ice spell to freeze the cultists in place and shattered the dark magic etched into the floor. With swift strikes, she cut the chains, binding Miura, and freed her. But just as hope flickered, the cult leader and his master appeared. The mastermind claimed responsibility for this chaos. Zin wanted to end him then and there, but he refused to fight, revealing a monstrous army poised to annihilate the entire town. Du Yan's worry grew as she asked Tai Chi's whereabouts. The evil leader coldly replied he had already prepared a burial place for Tai Chi. Then, he issued a chilling challenge to Xinhao. Would she protect the town from the looming nightmare? This plan had been meticulously crafted. Despite the cruelty, the mastermind felt no remorse. The battle he craved was set to ignite at dawn. Meanwhile, Tai Chi and Anna ventured deeper into the tunnels and faced a grotesque golem. But with a single blood-enhanced punch, Tai Chi shattered the creature into fragments. Inside lay a multitude of goblin eggs, alongside a pair of twins named Milo and Milo. The two mischievous kids proclaimed that after awakening the goblins, they would unleash them upon the town to feast on the townspeople. Seeing they were just children, Tai Chi urged them not to act foolishly. However, they ignored his warning and awakened the goblins just to provoke him. At that moment, Tai Chi realized that all the goblins had been empowered by a blood pact, yet he stood fearless and told Anna he wouldn't let the monsters touch her. With renewed strength, Tai Chi took down the first wave of goblins, and those that followed were no match for him. Just then, the twins accidentally dropped the orb controlling the goblins, causing the monsters to turn on them. Fortunately, Tai Chi was there just in time to help them, ensuring their safety. They then acknowledged that many more goblins remained in the town. After rescuing the twins, Tai Chi realized he needed to swiftly defeat the rest to escape. Back at the guild, the two girls reported their findings to the guild master. He immediately called for all adventurers to gather and combat the monsters. Just then, Len Aya arrived, having detected unusual magical energy in the town. The girls were overjoyed to see her come to their aid. After compiling information from the adventurers, they realized the number of monsters outside far exceeded the adventurers present. The first wave would consist of weaker monsters, followed by stronger ones like snails and slugs. But Zin remained unfazed, confidently declaring she would eliminate all the monsters in the first wave. The front line of this monstrous invasion would be the weak, with stronger beasts like giant snails following close behind. Yet Zin remained unshaken. She vowed to unleash her full power to wipe out the first wave. The next morning, she steeled herself for the battle ahead. Though Miura fretted, her master urged trust in Zin, believing her fusion of arcane chemistry and magic would make her unstoppable. Then, as the first monsters appeared, Zin timed her move perfectly and unleashed a massive explosion that cracked the ground, trapping the enemy in place. With the earth trembling beneath them, Zin prepared to unleash her fury, determined to protect those she loved. She conjured a flood to drown them, then summoned molten metal pouring from above. The metal hardened underwater, trapping the monsters inside. Yet, some still managed to escape. At this moment, Jin was drained of his magic, but Miura and Master said she had successfully held them back. Now was the time for the adventurers to unite and fight. In mere moments, the first wave of monsters was wiped out, none left alive. Sim and his master watched from afar, the latter declaring this was the perfect moment to make his move. Meanwhile, the guild leader received word that monsters bound by blood contracts had appeared. Just then, Tai Chi and his group returned to reinforce the forces. Tai Chi explained that the two kids had held them off, allowing his return. Now, the monsters no longer resisted, but fought alongside the adventurers. To the south, Ilya and her two disciples were surrounded by contract-bound monsters. The three fought side by side, swiftly defeating the first wave. But seeing the overwhelming numbers, Ilya asked her disciples to stall while she prepared her ultimate technique. After a few incantations, Ilya unleashed her full power, sweeping away the minions. Only 3 chief monsters remained, leading their clans. Though all 3 girls were drained of magic, they fought with every ounce of strength left. Master Ilya unleashed her hellfire technique. Miura empowered her sword. Jin attacked with lightning magic, yet the monsters shrugged off their attacks. Powerless, they watched as Jin teetered on the edge of death. Du Yen accepted her fate, lamenting the words left unsaid to Tai Chi. At her darkest moment, Taichi appeared just in time to save her, promising to always listen whenever she needed to talk. Miura, overjoyed, rushed to embrace Jin, relieved she had survived. Taichi now faced the monster alone. Empowered with newly unlocked strength, he swiftly defeated the beast in just a few moves. Returning coolly before the girls, he introduced 2 new teammates to the group. But with monsters still flooding in, there was no time for celebration. Watching Taichi's power, the enemy leader was surprised but dismissed it as merely a test. Meanwhile, Anna tended to wounded adventurers, her worry growing as she heard of the fierce battle. Despite her fear, she trusted Taichi's strength and his promise to return. Suddenly, a stranger whispered something to Anna, hypnotizing her into wandering away without conscious thought. On the battlefield, Taichi's group had nearly cleared out all the monsters, save for the queen beasts. With enhanced physical strength, Taichi dispatched them easily in just a few strikes, thinking victory was near. But then, the ground trembled fiercely. Both queen beasts were devoured and crushed from below, leaving Taichi stunned. Master Ilya revealed these were ancient creatures slumbering underground, the twin-headed dragon, harboring terrifying power. It became clear that the enemy's plan was to awaken these legendary beasts, with the battle serving as their trigger. Accepting this inevitable confrontation, Taichi chose to stay and face the dragon. He ordered Master Ilya and the others to return to town to prepare for evacuation. Everyone agreed, except Du Yen, who stayed to fight alongside Taichi. After the others withdrew, Taichi and Jin devised a strategy to defeat the dragon. Suddenly, Taichi dashed toward the beast, attempting to summon the wind spirit's power for aid, but there was no response. With no other choice, he engaged the dragon head-on. His attacks had no effect. Worse, the dragon's tail strike sent him flying dozens of meters. Unsure of his next move, Taichi was approached by Anna, now awake from her trance. She admitted she didn't know why she had wandered so far. There was no time for talk. The dragon was gathering energy for a devastating attack. Anna shielded Taichi with her body, saving him but suffering severe injuries. Taichi wanted to get her to a doctor, but Anna, sensing her end, thanked him for saving her life despite their past as enemies. Just as she was about to confess her feelings, Anna's heart stopped. Taichi was left alone, screaming in helpless anguish. In the depths of his despair, Taichi's inner turmoil finally reached the wind spirit, who summoned him to the spirit realm. He confronted Ariel, questioning why she hadn't granted him the power to save Anna. She explained the world's laws forbade either previous aid was an exception. To wield the spirit's true power, Taichi must make a contract. Only by accepting this bond could he gain the strength he needed. Taichi realized his past fear of becoming a monster had held him back from accepting the spirit's power. Now, shedding all doubts, he embraced the contract to protect those most precious to him. The pact was sealed, and he was returned to the battlefield. Entrusting Anna's care to Jin, Taichi revealed he was now a summoner, wielding the full might of the wind spirit. Without hesitation, Taichi confronted the dragon, demanding to know why it intervened in the war. The dragon challenged him to display his true strength. Accepting the test, Taichi unleashed the wind spirit's full power, repelling the dragon's attack and sending it crashing to the ground, stunning all who watched. The dragon revealed it had accepted a mysterious figure's offer to test Taichi's true power, and warned that this stranger would now guide Taichi down the right path. Then, the dragon departed, leaving Taichi with more questions than answers. Meanwhile, the mysterious figure gave orders to prepare a new plan after witnessing Taichi's strength. Sometime after the battle, life in the town returned to normal, though scars remained. Taichi, despite the heavy toll, smiled and pressed forward on his journey. To bond with the spirit, Taichi had to accept its power, only then would their pact be sealed. He realized he'd feared this strength before, worried it might turn him into a monster. But now, he cast aside that fear, ready to wield this power to protect those he cherished most. The pact was forged, thrusting Taichi back into the battlefield. He entrusted Jin with caring for Anna, and told her that he was now a summoner, carrying the full might of the wind spirit. Then, he strode directly to confront the dragon, demanding to know why it interfered in the war. The dragon challenged him to reveal his true power before answering, and Taichi didn't hesitate. The dragon unleashed its strength, but Taichi summoned the full force of the wind spirit and repelled the attack, sending the beast crashing to the earth in stunned silence. The dragon confessed it answered a mysterious figure's call, tasked with testing Taichi's real power, and warned him that this shadowy puppeteer would now guide his path. With that, the dragon vanished, leaving Taichi with a storm of questions swirling in his mind. Meanwhile, the mysterious figure, satisfied with Taichi's trial, began plotting their next move. Some time after the battle, life in town returned to normal, though scars lingered deep. Yet Taichi smiled, stepping forward undaunted, ready for whatever lay ahead. Believing this to be the way to honor those lost on that day, Taichi has now effortlessly summoned and wielded the power of the wind spirit. Seeing this, the girls silently vow to push themselves even harder. Just then, a royal messenger arrives, a girl named Arsenal, sent by the king to invite everyone to the capital. Upon hearing this, Master never imagined the day would come when the king himself would summon them. Though the purpose remains unclear, Master and the others accept the invitation. At this moment, Arsenal explains the royal family is torn by internal strife between the king and his younger brother. A civil war looms, and the king seeks to borrow the strength of these three. Yet Tachi struggles to believe he's about to be dragged into war. After some talk, their carriage arrives at the capital, but what they see is far from a bustling city. It feels like a ghost town, every door locked, and not a soul in sight. Suddenly, an arrow flies from nowhere, only to be caught by Tachi. It turns out the assassin sent to kill them is none other than the king's younger brother. The recent attack was just a test of their strength. Later, Tachi enters the palace to meet the king, greeted by several attendants and Princess Saznot, the king's daughter. The king soon appears and warmly welcomes Tachi's group. Knowing the king beforehand, Uplenia tells him to speak plainly. The king then dismisses the attendants for a private conversation. Master Uplenia acknowledges the king's internal struggle with his brother, but agrees to help only if the king accepts certain conditions. Without hesitation, the king consents. Master then asks if the king ordered the summoning of Jin and Tachi to this world, to which the king admits with a heavy heart. Tachi is Furious's peaceful life shattered, now forced into another world's war. The king apologizes and promises to take full responsibility. After pouring out their feelings, they retreat to rest. Soon, Arsenal knocks on Tachi's door, accompanied by Princess Saznot. The princess reveals she was the one who performed the summoning magic that brought them here. Initially, she intended to summon only Tachi, whose power was most suitable, but an assassin from the king's brother interrupted the ritual, causing her to lose control and accidentally summon Jin as well. Surprised, Tachi asks if there's any way to return home. The princess replies that summoning magic can only be used once, so returning is impossible. Yet, she begs for their forgiveness and vows to find a way to send them back, even if it costs her life. Jin understands the burden she bears, and Tachi thanks the princess for bringing them together with such precious friends. Determined to protect them, he promises to end the war. The princess beams with joy just then. Master knocks and gathers everyone to head outside. Before Tachi can fully grasp the situation, Royal Army Commander Subella arrives, having heard of Tachi's strength and eager to test it firsthand. It turns out the war is a setup by Master to prove Tachi's combat prowess to the royal forces. After exchanging blows, Tachi seems outmatched by Subella. He considers summoning the wind spirit but fears his power might incinerate her instantly, so he opts for physical enhancement to keep the fight fair. After a fierce battle, victory leans toward Tachi. Subella thanks him, saying their duel was deeply satisfying. Then, with a teasing grin, she pins him down and declares he's exactly her type of man. She wants him to marry her and promises 3 children. Tachi and the girls watching are left speechless. That night, Tachi summons the wind spirit for a private talk. He confides that soon he must use her power in brutal war, but he never wants her to suffer the bloodshed he has. Though she offers no advice, the wind spirit praises Tachi's kindness. Later, Tachi returns to Jin's room, where his eyes brighten seeing her fresh from a bath, still unclothed. Their encounter ends with a loud yelp from Jin. Meanwhile, the princess prays for their safety, unaware that Lerner, figure closely tied to the royal family, and the king's brother are plotting to attack the capital. Though aware of Tachi and Jin's power, the rebels are desperate to overthrow the king. They plan to assassinate both Tachi and Jin. The king learns of his brother's impending assault, causing the princess deep worry for Rin and Tachi. Master Mana assures her that they will be part of the defense lineup tomorrow. Meanwhile, Subella and Uplenia discuss battle strategies for the coming day. Since neither Jin nor Tachi knows much about warfare, Miura advises them to trust their master and commander. Yet, Tachi's heart is heavy tomorrow. He won't be fighting monsters, but human lives. To calm his fears, Subella promises a grand wedding celebration once the battle ends. That night, Tachi visits Jin again, telling her to sleep early, but she asks him to stay with her. She feels lonely. Tachi misinterprets her request, hoping for intimacy, but Jin only wants to talk. She confesses her worries about the formidable enemy awaiting them. This is real war, and they're just kids summoned from another world. Tachi insists Michael doesn't need to fight because Jin came here by accident, and Tachi was the one summoned. Still, Jin says she chose to jump into this fate, to fight alongside Tachi, protecting everyone and the kingdom. Unable to stop Jin, Tachi promises to protect her no matter what. Overjoyed, she rests her head on his shoulder. Suddenly sensing danger, Tachi urges Rin to get some rest too and closes the room's curtains. Meanwhile, Master talks about Tachi's visit to Jin's room to encourage her, while Jin herself is deep in thought. The tension builds as the threats around them grow, but for now, hope and determination light their path forward. If you've ever felt the weight of fighting battles not of your own choosing, remember Tachi's courage the storm within a calm exterior, ready to face a world at war. And if you find yourself lost between duty and desire, ask yourself, would you stand firm to protect those you love, even when the night feels endless? Thank you for sharing this journey. May our hearts grow stronger, just like Tarchi's, as we face the battles within and beyond. And as the curtain falls on this chapter, remember, even in the darkest wars, friendship and hope shine brightest. Until next time, stay strong, fellow travelers. Curious about what Tai Chi and Zin were up to, Mira couldn't help but wonder what mysterious ritual they were performing. At that moment, the master sensed an ominous presence lurking outside, while a deadly assassin slipped into the room, aiming to end Zin and Tai Chi's lives. But on the bed, there were only pillows, and just then, everyone else stepped in from outside. Though the assassination plot was uncovered, the assassin charged forward, desperate to claim Zin's life. Seeing Zin's life hanging by a thread ignited a fierce rage within Tai Chi. Without hesitation, he launched himself forward, delivering relentless blows to the assassin's face because losing another precious soul like Anna was unbearable. In the chaos, the assassin managed to break free and immediately dove to the ground, choosing death over capture. The next day, the real battle erupted outside the city walls. As enemy forces advanced, the master urged Tai Chi to follow the plan without faltering. Summoning the wind spirit, Tai Chi unleashed a powerful wind spell, carving a chasm before the enemy ranks to halt their advance. It seemed like a clever tactic to stall them, but the opposing army consisted of long-range mages, wielding enchanted demonstone rings. They unleashed a barrage of spells, sending fireballs blazing straight into the king's forces. Tai Chi, using his heavenly eye, quickly realized that the enemies were empowered by those demonic stones. The master explained that the demon stones granted the ability to cast fiery and watery spells from afar but at a deadly cost. The stones drained their life force, dooming the mages to perish soon after. Mira, moved by their plight, desperately sought a way to save them. No one wanted these mages to die. They were citizens of the kingdom after all, so the master entrusted Zin with the task. Exhausted, the enemy mages began casting their final spells, but the wind spirit swiftly countered with a wall of wind technique, dispelling most magic. Yet, because she was not Yasu, a few spells slipped through the defenses. When the enemy faltered, Tai Chi commanded his own mages to strike back, while Zin unleashed his power to amplify their magic, summoning a torrential rain. Then, a thunderbolt crashed down, paralyzing the enemy's sorcerers. The traitorous general, failing his mission, was executed by his comrades. The battle ended with barely a scratch on either side, an outcome that filled Zin with relief and honored what Miss Hang had hoped for. Meanwhile, the assassin, simmering with resentment after witnessing Tai Chi's victory, plotted to make him suffer using a secret weapon. After a night of indulgent celebration, Tai Chi woke up late, forcing Zin to come wake him. Today held great importance. After breakfast, the master announced a royal summons. In gratitude for their heroic deeds, the princess wished to gift them powerful weapons and treasures. The king invited everyone to choose whatever they desired. Mira selected a gleaming longsword, the master chose a demonstone ring, and Duyen picked a mage's staff. Tai Chi claimed a sharp Japanese katana. Together, they tested the might of these royal relics, carefully curated by the crown for immense power. Later, Tai Chi ventured into the town to unwind, greeted with admiration by the townsfolk for his vital role in defending their home. The streets buzzed with respect and gratitude, as everyone recognized the young warrior who stood as a beacon of hope amid chaos. Tai Chi's journey was far from over, but this moment of peace was a reminder of the strength found in unity and courage. If you've ever felt powerless like Tai Chi, take a breath and ask yourself, where does your own inner strength lie? As Tai Chi prepared to leave the capital and this land, he sensed a shadow trailing him. It was none other than Kasim, the one-armed warrior he had defeated before. Consumed by a burning vendetta, Kasim refused to let go of his grudge and sought revenge, but Tai Chi, seeing the many innocent lives around, wished to resolve this hatred peacefully. Yet Kasim would not yield, warning that refusal meant poison would be poured into the city's wells. With no other choice, Tai Chi was forced to accept Kasim's challenge. To level the playing field, Kasim wielded a cursed talisman that would equalize their power. Suddenly, the one who pushed harder would emerge victorious. Kasim sneered, claiming Tai Chi was nothing but a cheat, granted unnatural strength from another world. The danger of this talisman was clear, and Arirang urged Tai Chi to back down. But Tai Chi embraced the fight, determined to show Kasim the true gap between them. As the talisman sapped his strength, their duel began. Tai Chi launched a fierce wind attack, but Kasim expertly dodged and lunged in with his blade. To counter, Tai Chi vanished in a flash. Tai Chi tries another wind technique, but it misses. Kasim then switches to water techniques, forcing Tai Chi to struggle defensively. Frustrated with spells, both begin to resort to fists to determine the victor. Meanwhile, Grammy watches from the sidelines, thinking it looks like two fools fighting. Kasim, eager to end the match, starts gathering a powerful water attack aimed directly at Taichi, only for Taichi to slice it away with his sword, sending Asim crashing into the wall. At this point, Asim admits defeat, but Taichi remarks that it's only because he still has both hands that he was able to win. Now the spirit wants Asim to return Taichi's strength, saying that destroying the magical tool is the key. However, the tool starts transforming into a dark shadow, leaving Asim bewildered. Taichi realizes this is the moment to unleash his so-called fraudulent strength, asking the spirit to enhance his katana. He unleashes a wind slash at the dark shadow, causing it to disintegrate completely. Taichi's power is restored, and he thanks Grammy for her timely support. Asim is utterly defeated, but Taichi understands he isn't evil. Instead, Asim is someone who has worked hard, manipulated by others. As Grammy and Asim bid farewell to Taichi, an alarm rings out across the capital. Taichi rushes back to the district, learning that the rebels have declared war once more. Kasim realized too late he'd fallen into a trap, clueless and vulnerable. Sensing the moment to reveal his cheating power, Taichi called upon the spirit to enhance his blade's might. With a single sweeping slash against Kasim's shadow, the darkness shattered, restoring Taichi's strength. Grateful, Taichi thanked Grammy for her aid, while Kasim lay defeated. Yet Taichi saw no evil in Kasim only, a warrior manipulated by darker forces. When Grammy and Kasim took their leave, the capital was suddenly shaken by an alarm. Rushing back, Taichi learned the rebels had declared war once more. Meanwhile, the mysterious mastermind revealed herself a stunning woman with the heart of a villain, but the form of kindness. Hearing of Taichi's swift victory over a cursed beast, she issued new orders, confirming she had orchestrated everything from the shadows. Her true intent? A secret no one dared to guess. As the city braced for war, Taichi and his ally Xin shared anxious but resolute words, vowing to do all they could. The next morning, the decisive battle erupted. The rebel forces gathered in full force, ready to shape the fate of the nation. Yet beneath the surface, the king's brother remained oblivious, unaware he was a puppet, controlled by his own subordinate, following the commands of that enigmatic woman. Despite blood ties, the king marshaled his armies to crush this rebellion without mercy. Taichi, burning with determination, vowed to protect his people at all costs. The two sides clashed, violently lightning shocks and blazing flames, cutting down countless foes. Master Yue also joined the fray, desperate to bring victory home. Taichi seized his chance, charging straight toward the enemy camp. But stronger foes emerged among them. Susora, an elite A-rank adventurer tasked with eliminating Taichi. The battlefield became a maelstrom of fury and strategy, each side pushing to the brink. Miura, alongside her fire techniques, has already taken down numerous foes. Even her master, Lemia, joins the fray, striving to bring home victory. Meanwhile, Taichi leaps towards the enemy camp with all his might. But stronger opponents emerge on the battlefield. Her name is Susora, an A-rank adventurer, and the target she's been ordered to eliminate is none other than Xin. On Miura's side, a challenger appears for her as well. Lemia's master is being attended to by a dangerously skilled mage, prompting Lemia to call for a retreat while she stays behind to battle him. Initially, the fight is evenly matched, but soon the mage finds himself outmatched and is decisively defeated. It's at this moment he realizes the gap in their abilities, but it's far too late, and Lemia finishes him off with a powerful fire spell, making his death all the more poetic. Meanwhile, Miura is pouring every ounce of her power into battling the swordsman, whose cocky demeanor she can no longer tolerate. In mere minutes of exchanging blows, Miura knocks his sword away and delivers a final lethal blow, sending him to the afterlife. On the enemy side, while strategizing, Taichi unexpectedly drops in, leaving the henchman astonished, unsure how he got in. Taichi states he only wishes to speak with the Duke, the king's brother, to end this senseless war. Understanding Taichi's intent, the Duke orders all his soldiers outside. Taichi declares he has come on behalf of the king to establish peace with the Duke. He knows both he and the king desire happiness for their people, making their conflict truly pointless. Taichi demands the Duke surrender immediately to spare his life, warning that if he refuses, he will unleash the wind spirit to obliterate the Duke's army and territory. Seeing the Duke hesitate, the henchman swiftly executes a new plan, using a forbidden spell to resurrect the fallen soldiers from the battlefield. Instantly, the wind spirit recognizes this magic. The henchman reveals his true nature, admitting he has manipulated the Duke into sparking this war without his knowledge. The one who ordered him to act is the mysterious woman who seeks to test Taichi's power, as he is the first summoner from another world capable of commanding spirits. Upon hearing this, Taichi recalls the words of the dragon from the day before. He wonders who she is with such immense power, but there's no time for contemplation as the resurrected soldiers have now surrounded the camp. Meanwhile, Xin struggles against Susora. Despite facing an A-rank adventurer, Xin holds her ground remarkably well, After a series of fierce exchanges, both sustained serious injuries. Just then, the zombie soldiers encircle them, forcing the two to lean against each other and fight side by side against the onslaught. The whole battlefield is now under the control of this forbidden magic, leaving everyone bewildered at the unfolding chaos. As Lemia explains, this forbidden spell has existed for hundreds of years, originating from a battle between two nations where soldiers became frenzied, slaughtering each other and innocent townsfolk. Now, that horrific scene repeats itself as the soldiers surround Lemia and Miura. Lemia believes they must destroy the source of this forbidden magic to stop it. Otherwise, the soldiers will continue their rampage, eventually invading the town and massacring innocent lives. Meanwhile, Zin and Susora are still struggling to fend off the relentless undead. Realizing Susora is merely a hired sword, Zin devises a plan to pay Susora to work with her. After successful negotiations, the A-rank adventurer becomes Zin's ally. On Tai Chi's side, he hesitates to strike down the soldiers, knowing they are merely puppets under the control of the mage. The Duke urges him to eliminate all the soldiers suffering from the forbidden magic, or else the entire town and his subjects will face the brutal slaughter. The mysterious woman mentioned by the henchman will not cease until she corners Tai Chi. At this moment, Tai Chi understands the Duke's deep love for his subjects, realizing he is the true cause of this war. Tai Chi makes a monumental decision to harness all his spirit power to protect those closest to him. Even if it means sacrificing countless lives of soldiers, Tai Chi is prepared to shoulder that guilt alone. He channels every ounce of strength from Arian to unleash a decisive attack, but the wind spirit immediately freezes time, warning that if Tai Chi uses too much of her power, he risks losing control and possibly his life. She decides to temporarily distance herself from Tai Chi to allow him to regain his composure, promising to return transformed with new power. The chaos repeated as enemy soldiers swarmed Master Yueni and Miura. The Master realized the key to stopping this bloodshed was destroying the cursed magic's source. Otherwise, the soldiers would slaughter freely, spilling into the town to massacre innocent civilians. Meanwhile, Zin and Susora struggled to hold the line, but upon learning Susora was merely a mercenary, Zin concocted a plan. She offered to pay Susora to join her side. After tense negotiations, the adventurer became Zin's ally. Meanwhile, Tai Chi hesitated to strike down the cursed soldier. She understood their wills were twisted by dark magic. Yet the Duke urged him to act, warning that if he didn't, the entire town and its people would perish. Worse, the mysterious woman's forces would press on relentlessly until Tai Chi was cornered. At last, Tai Chi grasped the Duke's heartfelt devotion to his subjects and the crushing truth that he himself had ignited this war. Resolute, Tai Chi made a monumental choice: to unleash all his spirit power to protect those he loved, even if it meant sacrificing millions of soldiers. Drawing on Arian's strength, he prepared a decisive strike, but the wind spirit immediately froze time, warning that Tai Chi's reckless use of her power could lead to his own demise. She chose to distance herself, promising to return transformed and stronger. With Ariel gone, Zin arrived, wounded. Tai Chi cradled her, blaming his delay for her pain and finally understanding Arian's earlier words. Once more, Tai Chi summoned the wind spirit, now reborn as Selfie. Her arrival brought a powerful cleansing magic, purging the cursed spells afflicting the soldiers. Even Yueni watched in wonder. This was the first true summoning he'd ever witnessed. Ariel had returned as the Spirit Queen, her memories and feelings intact. Yet the battle raged on. The subordinate, now transformed into a monstrous creature, stood defiant. Tai Chi vowed to Zin that this time he would end the war. Together, they ascended skyward to confront the beast. Tai Chi demanded to know who the mysterious woman was, the one commanding such loyalty. The creature revealed she was the true ruler of this world, orchestrating everything to forge Tai Chi into the strongest summoner in history, a living weapon designed to sustain her vision for this realm under her rule. Furious at this revelation, Tai Chi launched a relentless assault. With every punch landing squarely on the monster's face, Tai Chi declared that her twisted schemes had doomed millions, including those dearest to him. After a grueling fight, he delivered a final blow, sending the monstrosity crashing to the ground, its fate sealed, yet the echoes of the battle lingered on. At this moment, Tai Chi was engulfed in fury. He lunged forward, unleashing a relentless assault. With every punch he landed on the monster's face, he declared that the very actions of that girl had cost millions their lives. Among them were those who meant the world to him. After an intense struggle, Tai Chi delivered a decisive blow, ensuring that the monster met the ground with a thud, knowing full well that death awaited him. For him, it was a dance with death, but satisfaction radiated from his soul, for he had truly fulfilled the mission entrusted by that mysterious girl. Without delay, Tai Chi summoned the spirit's power and unleashed a strike so fierce it erased the foe without a trace. The battle ended there, and the capital city breathed its lively rhythm once more. The next morning, as Tai Chi awoke, he found himself surrounded by. He inquired about Zin's injuries, and she reassured him that their master had healed her. Shortly after, they went to meet the king, who honored them with the title of military advisors, bestowing upon them treasures to commemorate their valor in battle. Meanwhile, the duke was executed by the king for treason. Tai Chi realized that, even though the war had come to an end, there were many unresolved feelings within him. His master encouraged him, reminding him that sometimes one must make difficult choices to protect those they love most. It was time for them to return to the town of Azbike. The princess bid them farewell, promising that she would surely find a way to bring Jin and Tai Chi back to their world. However, Tai Chi's heart was burdened with worry. He didn't know who that girl was, or what her next move would be, but if she threatened the ones he cherished, he would show no mercy. And with that,